It is common to adjust bid prices based on the perception of a client's ability to pay. However, be cautious to avoid letting this bias overly influence the decision-making process. Firstly, bids should primarily reflect the scope of work, material costs, and labor expenses. Avoid inflating the price solely based on the client's perceived wealth. Secondly, consider the client's budget. If the client has a limited budget, offering a slightly lower bid may be necessary to secure the project. Conversely, if the client is willing to pay a premium, pricing may be adjusted accordingly, but do not focus on the monetary aspect alone. It is crucial to be transparent about the pricing. Clearly explain the factors considered when determining the bid price. This fosters trust and establishes a positive relationship with the client. Be prepared to negotiate. Clients may attempt to negotiate a lower price. Have a clear understanding of minimum acceptable price and be prepared to justify the proposed costs. The decision to adjust bid prices based on the client's financial status is a personal one. There is no definitive right or wrong approach. However, it's crucial to acknowledge and mitigate potential biases that could negatively impact business practices. In the realm of electrical work, bidding and pricing strategies can be influenced by several factors beyond the basic costs of materials and labor. Understanding these factors and how they interact can help in creating competitive yet profitable bids. Firstly, consider project complexity. A straightforward installation will require less time and expertise than a complex rewiring job or a sophisticated control system installation. Assess the difficulty level and adjust labor costs accordingly. Secondly, site conditions play a crucial role. Working in confined spaces, dealing with hazardous materials, or accessing difficult locations can increase labor time and require specialized equipment, all of which should be factored into the bid. Thirdly, permitting and inspection fees must be included. Research local regulations and the associated costs for permits and inspections to avoid unexpected expenses. Fourthly, warranty and liability coverage are important considerations. Factor in the cost associated with providing a warranty on the work and maintaining adequate liability insurance to protect against potential claims. Fifthly, market competition influences pricing. Research the prevailing rates in the area and adjust pricing to remain competitive while maintaining a reasonable profit margin. Sixthly, consider the client relationship. Repeat clients or referrals may warrant a more favorable pricing structure to foster long-term relationships. Seventhly, contingency planning is essential. Include a contingency buffer to cover unforeseen issues or changes in scope during the project. A common practice is to add 5 to 10% contingency to the total estimated cost. Eighthly, payment terms impact cash flow. Negotiate favorable payment terms with the client, such as upfront deposits or progress payments, to ensure adequate cash flow throughout the project. Ninthly, material costs fluctuate. Monitor material prices and factor in potential increases to avoid cost overruns. Consider locking in prices with suppliers for large projects. Tenthly, equipment rental or purchase costs must be accounted for. Include the costs of renting or purchasing specialized equipment required for the project, such as lifts, trenchers, or testing equipment. The process of accurately estimating the cost of electrical projects involves several key steps. The first step involves reviewing the project plans and specifications thoroughly. This provides a clear understanding of the scope of work, materials required, and any specific challenges or requirements. Secondly, create a detailed bill of materials. List every item needed for the project, including wire, conduit, boxes, fixtures, and devices. Obtain accurate pricing from suppliers, considering bulk discounts and potential price fluctuations. Thirdly, estimate labor hours for each task. Break down the project into smaller tasks and estimate the time required for each. Consider factors such as worker skill level, site conditions, and potential delays. Fourthly, calculate labor costs. Multiply the estimated labor hours by the hourly rate of electricians, including wages, benefits, and payroll taxes. Fifthly, add overhead costs. Allocate a portion of the company's overhead costs, such as rent, utilities, insurance, and administrative expenses to the project. A common method is to apply an overhead percentage to the total labor and material costs. Sixthly, include a profit margin. Add a profit margin to the total cost to ensure the business makes a reasonable return on investment. Profit margins typically range from 10 to 20%, depending on the project's size and market conditions. Seventhly, factor in permits and inspection fees. Research local regulations and include the costs for permits and inspections in the estimate. Eighthly, consider subcontractor costs if applicable. Obtain quotes from subcontractors for specialized tasks such as trenching, concrete work, or fire alarm system installation and include these costs in the estimate. Ninthly, include a contingency allowance. Add a contingency buffer to cover unforeseen issues or changes in scope during the project. Tenthly, review and adjust the estimate. Carefully review the estimate for accuracy and completeness. Adjust pricing as needed to reflect market conditions and client requirements. Additionally, software can be used for estimating electrical projects. Specialized software can streamline the estimating process and improve accuracy. These tools often include features such as pre-built databases of materials and labor costs, automated calculations, and customizable templates. Examples of popular electrical estimating software include Aquibid, electrical estimating software by Trimble, and McCormick estimating software. These software solutions can save time, reduce errors, and provide more accurate and competitive bids. Additionally, it is important to understand the difference between fixed price, cost plus, and time and materials contracts. Each type of contract has its advantages and disadvantages, and the choice depends on the specific project requirements and the level of risk involved. Fixed price contracts offer a predictable cost for the client but require accurate estimating and can be risky if unforeseen issues arise. Cost-plus contracts provide flexibility and allow for changes in scope but may result in higher costs for the client. Time and materials contracts are suitable for smaller projects or when the scope is uncertain, but they require careful tracking of labor and material costs. Building strong relationships with suppliers can lead to better pricing and service. Negotiate favorable payment terms, volume discounts, and early payment incentives. Maintain open communication with suppliers and inform them of upcoming projects to ensure timely delivery of materials. Networking with other contractors and industry professionals can provide valuable insights and opportunities. Attend industry events, join professional organizations, and participate in online forums to exchange knowledge and best practices. Collaborate with other contractors on larger projects to expand capabilities and share resources. Effective cost control during electrical projects is essential for maintaining profitability and delivering projects on budget. This involves monitoring expenses, tracking labor hours, and managing material costs throughout the project lifecycle. Implement a system for tracking project costs. Use accounting software or spreadsheets to track expenses, labor hours, and material costs in real time. Regularly compare actual costs to the estimated budget and identify any variances. Manage labor costs effectively. Track labor hours accurately and monitor worker productivity. Implement time tracking software or manual timesheets to ensure accurate reporting. Provide regular feedback to workers and address any performance issues promptly. Control material costs by negotiating favorable pricing with suppliers and monitoring inventory levels. Implement a system for tracking material usage and minimizing waste. Consider using just-in-time inventory management to reduce storage costs and minimize the risk of obsolescence. Manage change orders carefully. Document all changes to the scope of work and obtain written approval from the client before proceeding with any additional work. Accurately estimate the costs associated with change orders and include a reasonable profit margin. Regularly review project costs and identify any potential cost overruns early on. Take corrective action to address any issues and prevent further cost increases. Communicate regularly with the client to keep them informed of project progress and any potential cost impacts. Implement a quality control program to minimize rework and reduce costs associated with errors or defects. Conduct regular inspections and testing to ensure that the work meets the required standards. Maintain accurate records of all project costs, change orders, and communications with the client. This documentation will be valuable in resolving any disputes or claims that may arise. Implement a system for tracking and managing project risks. Identify potential risks such as delays, material shortages, or changes in scope, and develop mitigation strategies to minimize their impact. Regularly review and update the risk management plan as needed. By implementing these cost control measures, electrical contractors can improve project profitability, deliver projects on budget, and enhance client satisfaction. Finally, ethical considerations in bidding and pricing are paramount. Transparency, fairness, and honesty are essential for building trust and maintaining a positive reputation in the industry. Avoid bid rigging and collusion. Do not engage in any practices that artificially inflate prices or restrict competition. Provide accurate and truthful information to clients. Disclose all relevant information about pricing, scope of work, and potential risks. Do not mislead or deceive clients in any way. Treat all clients fairly and equitably. Avoid discrimination or bias based on factors such as race, gender, or religion. Honor commitments and agreements. Fulfill all obligations outlined in contracts and agreements. Do not attempt to renegotiate prices or terms after a contract has been signed, unless there is a legitimate reason, such as a change in scope. Resolve disputes fairly and amicably. Attempt to resolve any disputes with clients or suppliers through negotiation or mediation. Avoid resorting to litigation unless absolutely necessary. By adhering to these ethical principles, electrical contractors can build strong relationships with clients, suppliers, and industry professionals, and maintain a positive reputation in the community.